Welcome back to Module 2 of English for Management and Leadership. In this second video on business communication, we will focus on the specific challenges of remote meetings, such as conference or video calls, both as a facilitator and as a participant. This module's scene was a meeting that included a few call-ins from participants. In the next module's scene, you'll see some more examples. A meeting involving a conference call will use many of the same best practices as a meeting where all participants are in the same room. In our last module, we discussed the importance of having an agenda. Keep in mind, however, that an hour in a conference call is not the same as an hour in a face-to-face meeting. For one, you will probably not be able to get as much accomplished because getting input from many people over the phone takes more time. Also, since more concentration is required for a conference call, fatigue will set in sooner as well. But what are some of the strategies for ensuring a successful conference call? First of all, try to keep the group small. Conference calls with many participants can get very confusing and can mean a lot of downtime for participants. And keep the meeting as short as possible. If you do have a longer call, offer to schedule guests at a particular time so they don't have to be on the line for the entire meeting. Elizabeth did this, for example, with Don Holt. She scheduled his call and offered him the floor so he could say what needed to be said, and then he could leave the meeting. This kind of scheduling is helpful when an individual has only a key point to make or important but brief information to share. Another helpful strategy is to select a moderator. This doesn't have to be the person who's running the meeting. In other words, you can have a facilitator and a moderator. The moderator is then someone whose role it is to set the pace and tone of the meeting, who will be careful to include opportunities for those on the line to have an opportunity to participate, who will remind people to let everyone know who's speaking. So these are the general tips for running a conference call. But now let's focus on what you can do when you're on the line. First of all, be prepared. Review the agenda and have any materials ready that you will need to participate, including the call-in number and passcode. Find a quiet place and work to eliminate background noise. Be sure to check that your equipment is working and call in a few minutes early. Secondly, when speaking, announce yourself so that others who may not know who you are or may not recognize your voice can understand who is speaking. During the call, pay attention. It can be tempting to try to answer an email or two during lulls, but focused attention makes these meetings go much more smoothly. Also, be sure to mute your phone when you're not speaking. I know when I'm working from home and on a call, one of my dogs is guaranteed to start barking. I try to keep my finger ready on the mute button, but sometimes I wish my dog had a mute button. Let's review the key takeaways for this lesson. Remember to have an agenda to keep everyone on topic. Consider enlisting a moderator to help manage the call. As a participant, find a quiet place and make good use of the mute button. We'll talk more about conference calling in Module 3, specifically the strategies that you can use as a non-native speaker of English to participate effectively in these calls. Be sure to watch for that. Thanks for watching English for Management and Leadership.